Are you seeking guidance on your spiritual journey? Need help with a vexing problem? Missing a loved one and looking for answers? Look no further than Psychic Insights, a small trusted psychic service offering mediums, psychics, and spiritual coaching. This service is managed by Hollis Taylor, a gifted psychic medium, astrologer, and a compassionate coach. We are dedicated to helping you navigate your spiritual awakening. At Psychic Insights, we provide medium readings and psychic insight to help you plan for tomorrow and make choices for today. Find the support you need, compassionate grief coaching, and astrological insights to help you spiritually grow and transform. Our professional services include well-managed schedules, recorded sessions, and reliable psychic mediums ready to facilitate your transformational experience. Discover more at psychicinsights.life.
Hello, everyone. How are you? I hope you had a happy, beautiful, deep, meaningful Samhain. I hope it was good. I hope that you experienced a positive experience. Hi, Barbara. How you doing, Barbara? It's good to have you with us today. Welcome. We're just getting started. Just getting this going. So give me a few minutes to get going. But today, hi, Heather. Welcome. I'm glad you're here. This is a question and answer today. So, in other words, you can ask questions and I'll do my best to answer them. Hi, Barbara. How you doing today? This is really a question and answer about the other side, about spirituality, mental health, mediumship, any kind of metaphysical arts, astrology, anything like that. Hi, Alyssa. Welcome. I'm glad you're here. Hi, Nana Claire over in the mediums group. I'm glad you're here. Welcome. Welcome. And I'm so glad all of you are here because, today is All Souls Day. Did you know that? You know that? Did you know what that means? All Souls Day is a Christian sort of thing where it's a it's a Christian day that, well, it was more acknowledged a while ago. Okay, but now it is mostly I don't know that a lot of people still celebrate it, but they might. And mostly it's about like um about honoring the dead, right? It's very much like Samhain. It's pretty much the same thing as Samhain, and Samhain is when we honor the dead. It comes from the indigenous background, from indigenous people. Okay. Okay. So that's what's going on today. How do you honor the dead? I think there's a lot of different ways to honor the dead, but I think some of them would be like well, there's a lot of different ways. You could honor where they're coming from. You could build an altar. You could do mediumship readings. You could tell good stories about them. Yeah, there's all kinds of things like that. So there's lots of cool ways um, that we could talk about that. So welcome. I'm glad you're all here. And hi, Dawn, Oxford. Hi, Pauline. I'm glad you're all here. And Sylvia. I'm glad you're here. Erica, Kara Matthews, Pauline, Jennifer Brown. Welcome. I'm glad you're all here. Welcome, Kathy. And hi, Navia. Okay. Well, Navia, the best way to do that especially if the death was unexpected or whatever, would be to look at the astrology death chart reading that I offer. And you can easily book that at my website, okay, at divineandrogen.com. Yeah. So you can easily book that right there at divineandrogen.com. Okay. That would probably be the best place for you to get some clarity about that. Okay. Hi, Susie. Good morning. Is it morning for you? It's 4 o'clock. I'm thinking about it. I'm like, wait a minute. Good morning. Where are you in the world? Hi, Emily. Welcome. Welcome. I'm glad you're all here. So it's best to post your questions in the chat about metaphysical things or about spirituality, about your third eye, about connecting to the other side, how to get messages. Everyone can connect. Hi, Barbara. Good morning. Oh, it's in Australia. Okay. Barbara and Susie are from Australia. Okay. Good morning. Saturday morning. Fun Saturday morning. It's not Saturday morning here yet. It's 4 o'clock on a Friday in the United States. I love Australia. It's a pretty cool country. I'm gonna go there someday. So I'm glad you're all here today though. And I would love to talk to you more about any subject that you might have. Hi Betty. It's great to see you. Hi, welcome. It's 6 p.m. in Michigan. Okay. Emily asked, may I have some insight as to how to develop my own abilities and connect? Well, Emily, that's a great subject. Now, I do a lot of mentoring and coaching with that. I do that a lot. I actually have a class November 8th. That's great for beginners. But there's a few things that you should know. First of all, if you are suffering from a lot of emotional dysregulation from trauma, which is like if you had a lot of childhood trauma and you're regularly upset or grieving or whatever, because losing someone is grief, then what ends up happening is your third eye gets sort of blocked or hard to connect. Okay. And so then that's one thing. So the more you work on your own mental health, the better off you'll be. So somatic exercises, which is like moving your body, you can find lots of those on YouTube, as well as like yoga, meditation. The more you do those kinds of things, the more your third eye will come online. Okay. Um because that's really what we that's really what opens the third eye. So that's one thing. Some other things are like okay, so you've already done a lot of healing. That's good, Emily. So I assume that you're doing some sort of like guided meditation or something. Using a guided meditation to meet your spirit guides, having a direct relationship with your spirit guides. Also understanding that we don't hear and see spirits the way we hear and see each other here in this reality, right? So I don't hear them the way I hear somebody, like hear you talking on the phone. It's not the same. I more hear it with the ear behind the ear, which is a Michael Beckwith saying when he refers to psychic abilities. And I see with the eyes behind the eyes. So I'm not seeing it the way you're seeing me now. It's more like maybe in the corner of your eye or whatever, okay? And you might feel them with the heart behind the heart, which is not that you're feeling like your heart is going crazy, but it might kind of feel like something else, okay? So like might feel like something that's more distant or far away and less part of you. Okay. So those are some good understandings. I teach more about that in the class, about the clairs and about the some guide, and I also do a guided meditation with Bright Hawk's music, where I pretty much set you up so that you can practice with that guided meditation again and again, and hopefully master it. I think you've seen, I think Angela Johnson and somebody else posted like a review about my class, and so I'm doing the exact same class next week, November 8th. Okay. So you might want to, it's only $22. Okay. Completely affordable. Susie said, what is the difference between spirit guides and guardian angels and normal spirits? So that's a great question. So, so spirit guides are like, they could be spirits, that they often are spirit. Usually you have a lot of spirit guides. Okay. And they kind of like, it's like a team of spirits that kind of work for you, right? Or try to help you, right? And so spirit guides are often like spirits that could be close to you. They could be people that you knew that have passed on. They could also be like ancestors from long ago or something like that. They could be related to you in some other way, like not necessarily through blood. They could be related, like I have drag queen spirit guides, and I have uh like when I'm sort of speaking for non-binary people, for instance, I have spirit guides that will step in and help me with that. Okay. So it just depends. Okay. But you could have lots of different spirit guides that do different things. Guardian angels are a little bit different. Those are angels that step in front of you when you're about to get in a car accident, and somehow you avoided that accident or didn't go home that way, or whatever sort of weird thing. That's what guardian angels are. Guardian angels are usually enlightened beings that are making sure that you don't fall too far off your path. Okay, so they may interfere during certain certain moments in your life that are necessary. Okay, and then and then a normal spirit, I guess what you're saying there is like sometimes you might be communicating with a spirit that's in a space that's not related to you, or like maybe even with the spirits around me, right? Okay, and they're just not directly, like they're not tied to you. Okay, spirit guides and guardian angels are tied to you. Normal spirits might be tied to somebody else, but almost all spirits are tied to somebody. So if they're not tied to you, they're tied to somebody else. And they could be tied to more than one person at a time. Okay. So that, I hope that broke it all down. I hope that answered your question there, Susie. Barbara asked, how long does it take to learn to meditate? Good question. So I'm not sure. According to the Dalai Lama, you never master meditation. Okay. He says even his mind wanders. Okay. So the point of meditation, so it's so silly when people say, I don't meditate because I can't quiet my mind. And I'm like, oh, so you expect to just walk into any skill and become a master? What the hell? Okay. Like a master is a person that can clear their mind. Okay. A master is a person that can control their emotions. Okay. They might be a master of meditation. But when you first begin, shit, you'll be lucky to keep your brain clear for 2 seconds. Okay. And that's pretty much how it works. And it's the exercise of realizing you've gone off onto some thought, and then you have to bring it back to what you were focusing on. So like you might be focusing on your breath. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. You might be focusing on a guided meditation where they're trying to take you somewhere, and you just got done thinking about what you had to get at the grocery store. And then you're like, oh shit, I'm meditating, not now. And so that's okay. That's what's supposed to happen. And then the exercise is the fact that you bring yourself back to what you're supposed to be practicing. And that exercise will the moments will start to get longer and longer. And I think that that's a hard, like, to give you a number, because to be honest, I've been meditating for like almost 20 years. And in that, and I've been doing guided visualization, meditation and visualization definitely that long. So if you've been, and I've been doing it that long, and there are still times that I'll sit down and I'll be doing a meditation. Today I've been working on Dr. Joe Dispenza's meditations, which are like a half an hour of pure blackness and nothing, and it's very hard for me to spend a whole half an hour doing that. I like to have a little bit more of a visual. It's easier for me to focus on my future than for me to focus on empty blackness and nothingness, which is what he wants you to do. Because he's trying to get your brain in a certain state. And I don't know, maybe some people it takes them longer, and I don't know what state my brain's in because I don't have like one of those machines hooked to my brain, um but I still to this day struggle, and so does the Dalai Lama. So you'll probably never be a master, but hopefully it will become more and more beneficial over time. Now, how long does it become beneficial? I think it becomes beneficial right away. If you're still having huge immersion, if you're meditating for 20-30 minutes in the morning, 15-30 minutes in the morning for a couple of days, and you're still having emotional outbursts throughout the day, then I would suggest that we have a conversation about, are you allowing your emotions? Are you blocking them? Because that's another big mistake a lot of people make, is that they keep trying to stop themselves from crying, like from grief. And then I'm like, knock it off. Don't do that. Because then you're oppressing your emotions, and that's not helpful. You have to allow your emotions to come. You have to feel it to heal it. Kayla tuning in to, okay. I'm sure that you could tune in. I'm not sure. I don't think you're asking me something. Emily, it might help if you come to the class, and then I can probably help you conceptualize how to connect with them. And that's kind of like it's like a 20-minute meditation, like 15-20-minute guided meditation where I help you visualize that. Alyssa says, since you can explain things, my Virgo, I'm a good teacher, where I can understand them. Could you explain what our higher self is and how best to connect with them? That's a good question, Alyssa. What is our higher self? And I think when people say that, when people say you're striving to be your higher self or something like that, I think that what they're really saying is that to the best of your potential in this lifetime. There could be two different things that I see that as, okay? So first, it's the highest potential that you have, which is clearly outlined in your astrology chart, okay? So everybody's higher self is different. But that is your greatest potential. Your greatest potential written in your map, which is your astrology chart, okay? And that's like your greatest potential, and a lot of us don't achieve our greatest potential. Some of us do, and some of us, and that's how you get to enlightenment, is becoming your greatest potential. There's also a form of your higher self that actually some people believe that we all exist in many different dimensions, that there are many dimensions and we exist in all of them. A different version of ourselves exists in each one of these dimensions, and they all kind of separate like different, like you can think of them as different rooms. Now, we can't, sometimes you might be able to see through to a different room through a window if you're lucky enough to have a window, right? Which is like somebody that travels through dimensions. Schizophrenic people travel through lots of dimensions, and so they can easily tap into all the different versions of yourself, which is why I think sometimes they suddenly get paranoid, because maybe in a different dimension, maybe you are evil, okay? But in this dimension, you're not, and they have a hard time deciphering what's this dimension and what's the other one. Some people can astral travel, and they recognize that they're traveling while they're sleeping, and they can recognize what this reality is and what the other realities are. And I certainly have had that experience. If you've ever had a dream about yourself in a situation where you're like, that's just not possible. Like, it's just not happening right now. And you can't see it ever happening, right? Um, and those kinds of realities, like where you feel like you're in an alternate reality, I think sometimes we're tapping into a different version of ourselves. And some people believe that one of those versions in a different dimension is of a higher self, and that your higher self, your future self, and that time is not as linear as we feel it and as we experience it on this plane, and that in some ways you can appear to yourself. Okay. So, like, your higher self from a different dimension or a different time could come back to you and say, Alyssa, you are your higher self when you don't do that. Okay. And then you recognize that that's not your highest self. Okay. Now, sometimes I believe in both exist, because um, I've gotten those kinds of messages from my higher self, and then also looked at my astrology chart, and the message matches. And when that happens, then I'm really sure that that's part of my higher self, if that makes sense. So there's different versions of who we are, and that's what we're supposed to be doing. Okay, and so all of us have a destiny. It's in your astrology chart. That's the easiest place to find it, in my opinion. And I feel like it's like concrete evidence of rather than mystically connecting. While I think that's valid, I just find that the astrology is like grounded evidence for me to grasp onto as my destiny and as my higher self. Okay. And a lot of times your higher self that's communicating to you from a different time or different dimension is often matched to your astrology chart. The two are one and the same. Okay. Um No, Barbara, it is very normal. And in fact, that's the point of meditation, is learning how to sort of um calm the monkey mind, because we all have a monkey mind. And that's something that you should come to understand, is that we all have a monkey mind that uh and we all have a monkey mind that's meant to kind of like and it kind of rambles on and takes us on for a long time, right? But then um at the same time, learning to calm that is how we can learn how to not react from emotional place, and instead respond. So that's often what the monks say, is that they say they respond, not react. Okay. And so there's a huge difference between reacting and responding. Okay. So Ram Dass meditations are great. So I'm glad you have somebody that works for you. That's great, Emily. I really like Michael Beckwith. Honestly, I love Michael Beckwith. I also appreciate Joe Dispenza, but sometimes he does his meditations and like he has cool music and everything. I'm fine with the music. But then all of a sudden he'll be like, sit up. Connect with the blackness all around you now. Like you're like, what? I don't know what that's all about, but sometimes at first I was laughing all the time and I was like, oh my gosh. But now I just try to get past that part and ignore that and try to just connect with the blackness and nothingness that he wants you to connect with. And then I just try to get to the visualization. That's Dr. Joe Dispenza, Becoming Supernatural. It's interesting reads. And he has a great show. Great. I'm glad that makes sense for you, Alyssa. I'm glad I could explain it to you. Hi, Angela. Hey, Angie. It's good to see you. I'm glad you're here. Hi. Hey, Cheryl. Hi, D. Jones. Okay, Nana Claire. Great question. Nana Claire said, why? Let me try to post her comment here. Nana Claire in the mediums group said, why do some spirits appear to be angry and others not? Well, Nana Claire, a lot of times that's our own projection. Because the interesting thing is that spirits are mirrors, and when they're on the other side, they're no longer human. So they're not really experiencing human emotions like anger, jealousy, hatred, resentment, blah, blah, blah. They're just not experiencing that because they're not human anymore. Now they're spirits, they're on the other side. Okay, so Nana, so what that ends up meaning is that sometimes our projections or our perception of what they're saying or doing, or our interpretation is off, and it's based on our relationship with them. And sometimes if you're getting readings from a medium, the medium is projecting their own trauma onto it. That happens a lot. Mediums take their own trauma and put it on the reading, and then you're kind of getting, then your reading is sort of flavored by their personal life trauma. Okay? And that's the challenge with that, Nana. Okay? That's why that happens. Okay, so I got a nice big question. Hey, Kristen. Great to see you, Kristen Naves. Darren Fairgrieve has a nice that's a nice big question. We're going to read it together. Darren said, question here, right? Long time ago with my ex, I had candle lit looking into the mirror and had a different person looking at me in the mirror. Made male person different color, everything. Everything my first thought was spirit guide never happened again. Obviously, I never tried that. Can does that happen? Not sure. Okay, Darren. Of course, what you wrote is a little bit broken up there. But what I would say, Darren, is that it sounds like it could have been from a past relationship, and while you may have thought it was a different person, that may not have been who it was. It may have actually been like a reflection of their past life relationship with them, and the spirits and your spirit guides around you may have been trying to communicate that with you, that it was actually from a past life relationship. Okay, Darren, a lot of times in relationships we're in, especially love relationships, they're often from a past life. Okay. Hey, Michelle Allen, I'm glad you're here. And Cheryl Myers from York, Pennsylvania. My son lives there, Cheryl. Hi, Lisa. All right. The next question we have actually is from Sylvia Dussault. I don't know if I'm saying your name right. How do you know that your past pets are okay? Well, Sylvia, I'm not really sure what bad could happen to your pets on the other side. Let's start there. People are often wonder if their loved ones or their pets or whatever are okay on the other side, and I'm kind of like, well, what do you think is going to happen to them that's bad? Because the bad things or the negative things happen here on Earth, not on the other side. So, and usually the thing about pets is that they're reborn right away. So most of the time they're reborn right away and come back into your life. So you should be open to that. Sylvia, I would encourage you to watch A Dog's Purpose. It's a movie. It's called A Dog's Purpose. Okay. All right. Next question. Hey, Jody County and Michelle Kearney from Australia, and Kathy Baranowski asked an interesting question. Do spirits stay forever? Stay where? They stay by your side until they are reborn. Or by your side and all of your and anyone else that they're connected to. They stay by a human side until it's time for them to be reborn, most of the time. Okay. So I'm not sure what you mean by forever and stay where. So there you go. And hi, Pamela Perkins. Welcome. I'm glad you're all here. And hi, Chris Baszler and Maggie Leo Gonzalez. Hey, Jade. It's great to see you. Hi, Paula. Hi, Makwa. I'm making you laugh. Hi, Nicole. It's great meeting you today, and welcome to the group. Nicole is going to be joining Psychic Insights soon. I hope you all look forward to getting to know Nicole a little bit more. Hey, Donna. And Donna asked, is my sister at peace on the other side? Is she upset with me? Donna, no. The answer, without me even having to connect, I can answer that question is, of course she's at peace on the other side. Why wouldn't she be? And is she upset? I mean, spirits are usually at peace on the other side, unless there's a current court case or like their trust or something isn't being handled. And it's not that they're not at peace, it's just that they're kind of waiting for things to be handled. And then, is she upset with me? No, spirits aren't never upset because they're not human anymore. Okay, so we have to stop projecting our humanness onto them because spirits are not human anymore. So when they're not human, they're incapable of hating or being angry at you or holding a resentment or any of those human behaviors. Those are all human. So, okay, she's at your side, though. I can assure you of that. How can you tell the difference between an orb and a picture, or if it's just the lighting? Jade, that's a good question. And you know what? This is one of those really rare times that Hollis is going to say, you know what? I'm not really sure. I am not a big picture reader. Sometimes I can look at a picture and I can kind of close my eyes and connect to the person that posted it and connect. That's how I connect. But I'm pretty sure there's also a way. I don't know, Nicole, if Nicole knows about that. Nicole Gaspard, she might know. But I know that sometimes there's a way to tell that the lighting has like reflected off of it. I've always my intuition is way more reliable than my eye. So you'll watch me do readings, I'll close my eyes. Okay. Some people have more reliable eyes than their intuition, but my intuition is most reliable. So most of the time I just tap into the picture and ask the guides or the spirit energies around the person that picture belongs to, and they'll tell me. Mm-hmm. That's how I know, Jade. But there are other people that are way better. I bet Nicole is probably better at pictures. Pictures with orbs and stuff. Nicole is probably. Nicole. Yeah, Nicole, if you want to look at Jade's answer, Jade Alyssa, just a minute or two before you commented, and you can see her question was about how can you tell the difference between an orb and a picture if it's just the lighting. Maybe you can answer her. Darren likes to read photos too. Okay, well, congratulations. Good job, Darren. Hi, Kathy. And Sylvia and Kathy, you're very welcome. Hi, Makwa. It's great to have you. I'm glad you're here. All right, so now let's see if there's some more questions on the pages here. I'm going to blink back to the pages. Barbara said, my childhood dog was murdered in a nasty way. I know she's okay now, but that always breaks me. I'm sorry that happened. Barbara, that's sad. It's hard, huh? Yeah, it's hard. I'm sorry. Sarah says, if they are reborn, how are you able to connect with them on the other side? Well, usually they're not reborn until you die, usually. But sometimes they're reborn before that for a variety of reasons. It's hard to predict, but the spirit will usually tell you they know when they're going to be reborn. Now, the interesting part is sometimes when they're reborn, a lot of times when they're reborn, they leave their most recent life behind. Especially if there's still people here on Earth trying to communicate with them and remembering them a lot. So they'll leave their most recent life, like an impression of their most recent life, on the other side. I'm not the only medium that talks about this a lot. John Edwards talks about it. Lots of mediums talk about it. I think I can't remember her name right now, but maybe I'll remember it. Sylvia Brown. I think she talks about it as well. They leave an impression of themselves on the other side, so that when they're born here, first of all, they don't remember their just most recent life for some reason. Like if they took their own life and had a really miserable life, spirit doesn't want them to remember that, so they'll leave like sort of that impression, that life, in their last lifetime. Okay, on the other side, so then you can still communicate with that. But I would say it's a little bit different communication. It's less deep, and that sometimes the spirit will actually say, I'm just an impression, and it's just me. It's not my whole soul. That's why it feels different now. So like I recognized it when it started happening to my dad. My dad has always been my spirit guide on the other side. And I was like, and I started to wonder about that connection, and it changed, right? And I was like, I wonder why it's changed. And when I asked my dad on the other side why, he said he was going to be reborn, but he still leaves a little bit of an impression of himself behind, he said, not just for me, but for others that still think about him, particularly my son. Um, and it will be important that he leaves those impressions behind, because my granddaughter and my son are both mediums. So sometimes they'll leave impressions behind. Okay. Um, okay. So let's go to Sarah's comment. She said, okay, I had a medium tell me that my daughter's father, okay, was trying to reincarnate into her since she died when she was 4 weeks old. She's just like him too. So is your daughter here on Earth now? Is your daughter still alive, Sarah? Okay. I'm not sure I completely followed that, but maybe. Carol said, I was pregnant with triplets 35 years ago and had a miscarriage very early of one fetus. Okay. Will I meet this baby when I pass? Did he or she choose me as a mother? Yeah. I wish you were in the seance last night. So, Carol, how it works is anyone that's had a miscarriage, an abortion, or loses a child early in life, like Sarah just described, he died when she was 4 weeks old. Okay, I got it now, Sarah. Okay. I doubt it, because no, because her soul enters your body when you're 5 months old. So I would disagree with that. I don't usually disagree with other mediums, but sometimes. Okay. I think that when, as a mother, you feel the baby start moving and getting a character around 5 months old, right? That's when the baby starts moving, dancing, stepping on your bladder, right? And that's when I think that the soul enters the child, actually. So I actually think that when you miscarry, when it's an abortion, or anything, that happens because um you are meant to bring that soul through for one last reason, because they're actually working towards enlightenment. And so they're working towards enlightenment, and so there was something that they didn't finish, there was something they didn't do. Okay. And so then, as a result, that spirit, that energy, um has to teach something. And sometimes it's a real simple thing, like teaching the value of life, or teaching to love deeper, or teaching to value the children you do have here on earth, or teaching or valuing um the life that we can make within our own bodies and things like that. Okay, right, Carol? And so whatever happens, then whatever lessons came through that miscarriage for you was your child's sole purpose. Okay. So then they came through, they did their sole purpose by teaching you whatever, insert thing here. And then they become an angel. So will you meet the baby when you pass? Kind of, yeah, but they'll probably come to you and as an angel, and they may sometimes even present themselves now as a person that they were in a past life, and you'll be like, who is that? You won't even know who it is, and then later you'll figure out that's your angel. Okay, and angels have a different, and they're enlightened beings because now they've enlightened themselves. And sometimes enlightened beings choose to come back here because they're meant to walk at like angels among us, right? Like they're meant to walk among us and do really special stuff and help us evolve as human beings, because we have to like step it up and become better, right? Okay. um so did the child choose you as a mother? Yes, you were chosen special as a mother, so that because you would be capable to learn the lesson and benefit from the lesson, so that their sole purpose would not be wasted. Very special choosing, Carol. So it's not about you being lesser than, it's not about you not being enough. It's not about God punishing you or any other kooky stories that we might come up with why we lose a child. That's why. Okay, because the child had to get to enlightenment and they had to teach one or two more lessons. Okay. Barbara, you can find out who they're reborn as if you think they were reborn. Hold the child in your arms and connect with them. So I checked with my granddaughter and my grandson. Neither of them are my dad, but they are ancestors that I didn't know. So that's true. Now my dad told me that his soul would be reborn on my brother's side because he still had work to do with my brother. I actually have two brothers, but the one brother, he's going to do work with the one brother, not the other one. Not yet, anyway. Okay, so you can ask them who they'll be reborn to. Sometimes they'll tell you. So he's actually waiting. My dad is waiting to be reborn to one of my, he may have recently been reborn to my nephew, but I'm not sure. I haven't held that baby yet to be sure. Okay. The other thing that occurs to me, Sarah, is that the father and the daughter might be soulmates. That happens sometimes. I could tell you, and sometimes we have more than one soulmate in the world. We could have 2 or 3 soulmates. All 3 of you could be soulmates, frankly. But I could take a look. It would be in the astrology charts. Okay, that's how you could be for sure. Okay, but that's just what I was thinking about what we just said. My brain sometimes splits into 2 thoughts at the same time. And I was thinking that it could be that your that the father of your child and her are soulmates, and even you could also be soulmates. Soulmates, so let's get into that discussion real quick. Soulmates are, so I have a slightly different perspective on this. So just stay open-minded, okay? And usually when I explain it, people are like, that makes most sense, Hollis. Out of all the things I've read, that's and I'm going to write a book about it, okay? So I'm writing a book about it. Okay, so what happens is long ago, a soul, a person, is forced, usually in a war, but not always forced, but they have to kill somebody. They kill another human soul. And when they do that, maybe this was several hundred years ago in a war or something, it splits the soul. Ask any vet that's killed a person and they're still alive. They'll say, I don't know, kind of split my soul or something. It changed me forever. Okay, so they'll have something like that. Okay, and then what happens is the soul is split, right? So then you have 2 souls, and they kind of live lifetime after lifetime. Now, at some point, one of those 2 souls could kill somebody again, maybe because of a war, maybe they're involved in a war or something, and it could happen again. and the soul splits again. That's how you end up with like 2, 3, 4, 5 soulmates, okay? And then you just keep living together again and again and again, and the souls start coming back together. Now, they may not always be romantic partners. They could just be friends. They could be family members, like mother, child, or siblings, or whatever. But then eventually the two souls come back together and live a whole life together and die together. And when they do that, that's when the soul has come back into one and has reunited towards an enlightened being. And then there are twin flames, and twin flames are two people that help raise each other's vibration, which is very important because sometimes our souls need to raise our vibration to meet up with our soulmates, okay? So if we don't raise our vibration with a twin flame, we get behind, okay? And so twin flames are here to help raise our vibration, and both people are usually opposites. They're nothing alike. Soulmates are usually very alike. They're like cut from the same cloth, okay? Twin flames are often opposites, are very different, approach things and see things differently, and they support each other. And as a result, they help support each other in a way that makes the flame burn brighter, putting two flames together, okay? Twin flames. And then we have soul contracts, which are very, very important and impossible to avoid. You will not be able to avoid them. They must happen. Sometimes they happen within families, like family dynamics, like having an abusive father or something. And soul contracts, usually you feel a uncontrollable desire to do them. And then usually they don't turn out real great. Sometimes they're okay, but either way, the two people are meant to teach each other something. Sort of like twin flames. Either way. Okay. So let's go back over to here. Back over into the group. So by the way, Jade, Nicole said, sure, you can tell if it's an orb by its color and shapes and sizes. So it sounds like something that you kind of acquire a view for, okay? Darren said, do we decide what you come back as, like male or female? I don't fancy coming back as fly, that be short one. Laugh out loud. Oh, okay. Well, that's an interesting thing, Darren. Most of the time when I ask about that, Darren, I usually get a, yeah, we do sort of plan our, we plan how we'll come back. And don't forget that there are other than just male and female. There's also transgender people and non-binary people, and we get to live all of those experiences. And yeah, we do sometimes come back as animals. Sometimes I sometimes think it's true. With bad karma, Buddhist monks think that if you have a lot of bad karma, that you come back as a fly. I could sign up for that. I could believe that you might come back as a fly a few times, or as a worm or something like that, or so it might depend on what your karmic thing looks like. But most of the time when I talk to spirits, they're working through soul contracts with people here on Earth, and so they're all working together, and they're a big soul circle. So even really terrible, abusive people. Okay. All right. I love Sylvia Brown too, Nicole. Hi, Kendra Hawkins. Nana Claire asked, do spirits come through in animals and birds? When I'm upset, I often see like 10 birds that land on my house wall by my bedroom window. Seems only to happen when I'm struggling emotionally. For some reason, the whole thing didn't come through. Either my grief. Okay. Yes, they often come through as animals, because animals allow the spirit to step in because they don't have any fear, because they didn't watch any Hollywood crazy paranormal shows that teach you to be afraid of spirits. So then as a result, Nana, they they'll just step into the birds. So yeah. And those are probably the birds trying to comfort you. It's probably some of your loved ones trying to communicate with you. Absolutely. Yep. All the time. Elizabeth Hunley said, I'm very new to the group and recently lost my child, and I don't want to be scammed. So, how do most real mediums connect with a loved one? Okay, so Elizabeth, if you don't want to be scammed, here's a couple of rules. Here's the scamming thing. First of all, anybody can be copycatted. Even you can be copycatted. I can be copycatted. Any of my pages can be copycatted. So if someone messages you first, it's a scam. It's a scam. No real reader will ever message you first unless you invite them. Like, let's say there's a comment thing going on in the group and you comment back, and then that's okay, right? Like, and then the person's like, well, let's have a private chat. Then that's might be a legitimate reader, maybe. But then at that point you've agreed to chat privately off of the comments, right? Okay. Now, the second way, the beautiful thing is that we have a website called psychicinsights.life. And Psychic Insights .life is very special because you all of the mediums in this group are at Psychic Insights. So then you don't have to worry about being scammed. We guarantee all of the readings, and you also will have to go to a website to book, and that's another there's the website, psychicinsights.life. It's all over the group. It's up in the top in the featured area. I run the thing. I first started Divine Androgen, which is the name of my book, but it's also the name of my service. And then there started to be a lot of mediums, and I've been through a lot of hell with this group, and I've decided the best way to do it is for me to manage them all, because I want them to be reliable and present. Okay. So that's what psychicinsights.life is. And I help them with scheduling software and have a good Zoom so you can do it. I'm also about to start written readings with a couple of the mediums that are particularly good at that, for people that are into that. And psychicinsights.life is you don't have to, you can go to all the mediums. You don't have to worry about it being a scam. And I think that's the most beautiful thing about Psychic Insights, is that we're all together on one website. If you go to psychicinsights.life, you will see all the mediums that are available in this group. They manage their calendars. Right now, Sarah is out because she had a death in the family. She actually had 2 deaths, which is quite unfortunate. And it was her father, so it was really hard for her. So we're giving her plenty of space to deal with that. But you can meet those mediums here, and that's why we do lives and commenting in the group comments. That's why we comment and we do lives and we do events and we do all these freebie things, so you can get to know us. So then you can feel confident about spending your $50, $100, or whatever it is for a reading. Okay. Most of us connect in Zoom. A lot of us like to connect in Zoom, but a couple of people like to connect through pictures. So if pictures is your thing, it just depends really on what you're open to and what you want. Right now, most of us connect through Zoom. I'll be setting up the chat this week, and it'll probably be happening in the next in probably next week or the week after. By the end of November, it will be set up. Okay. So, Elizabeth, I hope I answered your question. Never send money to anyone that messages you first. Just block them right away. Block and delete. Just get rid of them. Alexa, stop. And then number 2, never send money as a gift on PayPal. Never do that. Like as a donation or as a gift. If an apprentice, if you want to give, if an apprentice does a reading for you, which they're practicing in this group, you can send them a donation after you do the reading, never before. Okay. And so That's that. And you never send a gift to someone to do a reading for you ever. Okay. And real mediums are gonna have a website, they're going to have scheduling software, right? Because the difference is very simple. PayPal doesn't require anything for you to send $20, $50 or whatever to your friend. But for me to set up a business site like you'll see at Psychic Insights, I have to prove that I'm a business. I have to put my business license in. I have to put my EIN, which is my tax number in, okay? And that's I have no idea why that just happened. Anyway, but that's how that happens. Okay. So you can be assured when a person has a website and scheduling software and all of that, that they have a legitimate business and they're gonna care how the reading goes. Right? You can get your money back through a real business. Through some bullshit with sending a gift, you won't get your money back. Ever. They don't care. Okay? That's how you don't get scammed. I was thinking about making a meme that I already have one meme that's posted once a week, like don't get scammed, that we're copycatted all the time. Be aware that the moderators and me and the pages and everybody is copycatted often. Okay? All right. Hi, Stephanie. Hi, Donna. Of course they're together, Donna. Of course they're together. Paula wants to know, my brother suddenly died last month and I'm wondering if he's trying to communicate with me. I'm sure he is. Jade said, my 3-year-old was born after my stillbirth. My loss was September of 2020 and my 3-year-old was born October of 21. Since he could talk, he said he is the baby we lost. Is that even possible? I always found it crazy that he said that. It's absolutely possible, Jade. It's also possible that your child is an angel among us. Okay. I would not be surprised if your child is an angel among us. Okay. Hi, Leah. Is there any way to find out what our contract we agreed to before we came here was? Yep. Kara, it's in your astrology chart. Kara Connors, if you want to learn about what your destiny is and what the contract is that you made before you came, it's all in your astrology chart. Leah Flannery, I would suggest that you book at Psychic Insights with one of the mediums that are available for you if you want to connect with your mom. Joanne wants to know the best reading. It depends on what you want, Joanne. It depends on what you're looking for in the reading. She wants to know what's the best type of reading for her. Well, it depends on what kind of reading you want. Okay. Message me if you want. And you can ask questions if you want to ask them more privately. Can I please tell you about him? What do you want to know, Susu? If you're wanting a reading, it's best to book that at my website, which I think you can see right here. Darren said, is it getting too many reads in a short period of time not good for you? I see it as a massage. It's like self-care, especially during grief. So I think you can go from medium to medium. Hi, Heidi. Welcome to Denver. Welcome to Colorado. But you can get readings online. You don't have to be in Colorado to get a reading from me. I do them online, but I can do them in person. I can come to your house or meet you somewhere. Hi, Roberta. How do you get a reading? Go to psychicinsights.life or go to my website right here. Okay. So either way, doesn't matter. Whatever way suits you best. If you want a reading with me, you can just go to Divine Androgen. If you click book now, you're gonna get the same page that you'll get at Psychic Insights. You'll be able to read more about me at divineandrogen.com. Okay. But at Psychic Insights .life there, which I just put the website at psychicinsights.life, you'll also see all of the mediums that are in this group, and you can even search their name and read their reviews. Okay. Search their name in the group. How do you get a reading, Taz? You get a reading by booking at my website right below there. Brianna said, I had an astrology reading by Hollis. It was so great. Thanks you, Brianna. Thank you. Hi, Jenny. And I've lost my only daughter to suicide. My partner just recently. Are they together now? Do you know? Yeah, they absolutely are together, Jennifer, because they're together because you loved them both. Makwa said, they read my chart also. Life-changing. Thanks, Makwa. I appreciate that. I appreciate y'all's reviews and saying that I'm a legitimate reader, that I'm good at what I do. I appreciate that, because you can imagine some of these people are new to the group and they just don't know, they don't know who's who. And you can just, I can assure you that you can search my name in the group and you'll find plenty of reviews. But also you can see right here in the group's comments with Makwa and Brianna that I'm a legitimate person and I do great readings. Darren said, yeah, I did that in the past on relationship, paid to get spells done. Stupid, learned my lesson, and 100 pounds short free will also led me to spiritual awakening in that sense. Okay, Darren, I'm sorry that you got scammed. Yeah. Doing spells for people is never a good idea. For other people to do spells for you is not usually a good idea. Susu said, I just want to know if you can tell me where he is now. Susu, he's on the other side. So I'm not sure what you're asking. He's on the other side. Where do you think he is? Hi, Jade. Jade said, I haven't been able to afford a reading yet, but I can attest that these lives, Hollis is absolutely amazing. Thanks, Jade. I appreciate that. And now let's get back to the pages. We're going to figure out. Okay, hold on. See what I mean, Carol? When I talk about that, isn't that funny? For some reason, what I say about twin flames and soulmates and everything, it makes so much sense to people. And people are like, when you read stuff online, it feels ass backwards and kind of it's just backwards. And but when I talk about it, people are like, that just makes sense. So that's definitely in my book. Nicole said, I hope I don't come back. I hope you do come back, Nicole. You probably have some important work to do here in the earth. Nicole said, I feel like I'm an old soul, so hopefully I won't have to come back. You know what's interesting about that, Nicole, is that when I talk to spirits on the other side, they say that they don't want to stay there. Even the angels that are enlightened, and they don't have to come back if they don't want to. They want to come back because life on the other side is just like so plain. It doesn't change, and they don't get to have experiences of like pleasure and things like that. Nicole's been noticing lots of black crows and feathers lately. That's cool. Watch a ghost within my child. Okay, Sarah, is there violence? I don't watch violence. Okay. Alyssa said, I know you have bundles available on your website, but can you offer an a la carte like my husband's death astrology? Yeah, actually, Alyssa, click on where on my website where it says get a package to save money. Click on that. And then there is a readings package. So you can get like, I think it's like 4 or 5 readings and you'll save a bunch of money. Try that, Alyssa. And it gives you like a code. So then every time you book the reading, and so you can do them like weeks apart if you want. You don't have to do them all on the same day or anything. You can do them like, over a month's time or a couple months' time. They work the same as the coaching packages, but there's a readings package that I offer. Okay. So just look. Psychic Insights also has a readings package where you can save. I can't remember exactly how much it was, but essentially for $222, you get $275 worth of readings from anyone at Psychic Insights. So that would be like, you could come to me, you could go to Mama Cole, you could go to Jamie, you could go to Sarah, and until you run out. And then even if you have, like, let's say you have 20 something dollars left, which is like, no reading is that cheap, you'll get $20 off of a reading. Okay. Nicole said my favorite film is with Robin Williams, What Dreams May Come. Okay. I don't think I've seen that, but I'll have to check it out. I'm a terrible movie watcher. Okay, no, it's Kids That Remember Their Past Life. Okay, Sarah. I have to like write it down. A ghost within my child. My spouse and I are always looking for interesting movies, spiritual movies that are not like total, I get tired of the violence. I just don't want to see it anymore. What was the name of the movie again? It was A Ghost Within My Child. See what I mean? See how fast I forget? A Ghost Within My Child. Okay, I wrote it down. Someone else had a different movie. Nicole said, Robin Williams, What Dreams May Come. I may have watched that, but I don't remember it. I'm such a bad movie watcher. If I don't fall asleep, I just get bored and stop watching. Anyway. Looks like Bianca's going to be watching that. You're welcome, Alyssa. And it's also a book. Okay, Nicole. What Dreams May Come is Amazing Hollis, one of my favorites. Okay. Yeah, Nicole, I don't watch horror. It's bad for my mental health. Okay. You're welcome, Susu. Brianna said, I've been taken advantage of by, hold on, let me just try to copy and paste it. So when I try to read it in the thing, other people are posting, so I can't keep up with it. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So if I just bring it over here into StreamYard, it's easier. I have been taken advantage of by a coach, and let me tell you that Hollis is the real deal. Also, they will answer all your questions, even the personal and hard ones. Yeah, that's true. Thanks. I appreciate that. It's the best form of therapy for me. You're welcome, Brianna. You're welcome. That's so sweet of you to say that. Thank you. Thanks for vouching for me. Nana Claire asked a great question. They said those strong feelings of I've been here before, like deja vu, is this evidence of a past life? I think so, Nana. Either that, or it's either a past life or you dreamed of this moment happening. I've had both happen. And they both feel like a deja vu, but they're slightly different. I always learn something new when watching you. Thanks, Debbie. Okay. Do I watch paranormal shows? Sylvia asked. I don't. Let me tell you why. Because I've done a lot of work with paranormal. And paranormal people doing paranormal work are perfectly fine in the world. I have nothing against them. But usually they're doing it for a couple of reasons. Number one, they're doing it because they want to prove it. They want to prove that spirits exist. I'm not interested in proving anything to you, which I will say also in my readings. I'd rather you just come to me as a believer. I'm not interested in proving it to you. It's just not my thing. I'm not interested in converting people. I'm just not. But there are some people that are. And then sometimes people in paranormal, they're looking more at like the horror aspect of it and creating fear. And I don't like to live in fear. In fact, I know that fear is toxic for most of us. So a lot of those paranormal shows breed fear of spirits. So I don't engage in that. And I think that when we tap into that fear of spirits, I think it's bad for us. I think it's toxic. Okay. Yeah, exactly, Nicole. That's probably, yep. Yep, I get lots of premonition dreams too. Yep. All right, my friends. Well, it's been a beautiful evening here with you. I hope you all enjoyed it. I hope you had a great Samhain. If you made it to the seance last night, it was a lot of fun. I can't believe how smoothly it went. I was like totally like, wow. It totally went unusually last night. Um, yeah. Bianca. I don't think they'll be asking me. They'd probably be asking you. But I'll probably try to do another Zoom live next month, maybe as I make my plans for next month. But I am awaiting some medical. I have a couple small minor surgeries to do, as well as some dental work on Monday. So I might need a little time off. So we'll see how next month goes. But my friends, we are growing at Psychic Insights. Look forward to Nicole joining us and becoming somebody that really does a lot of the typing and photo readings, which is really what I've been asking my guides to send me somebody. So I find it interesting that Nicole showed up. And so here we are, right? Okay. So that's psychicinsights.life. And just remember, you can expect from Psychic Insights to always get the same treatment, because it's kind of going through me in a way. And so I've been managing business online since 1995. And you can ask about that. You can ask about my legitimacy from Angie Glass right here in the chat right now. Angie Glass, I know, will vouch for me because she's been using my service for years, as well as Melissa Berger. Missy Berger was part of my business many years ago, back in 1995. And so she can vouch for me in that way. So I have people that can vouch for me in the group as a legitimate person, in case you're worried about that. But I'm just saying, I think it's easier when the person is live like this. It's easier to get a good feel for, okay, I think this person's legit and I can spend money on getting a reading, right? And that's why most of our readers show up on a live. So remember, don't get scammed out there. Make sure you never send money as a gift. You always go through a website with scheduling software, because that requires you have a business PayPal account or a business Stripe account. Either way, you have to have all your tax information in line. Therefore, you're not a scammer, okay? And you care, because you don't want people to like charge back and say they didn't get good service, okay? And here's Angie Glass is saying, of course, the grief coaching is wonderful. And Hollis has been my lifesaver since my sweet John passed away. Okay, and I think that was in 2021, Angie? Was it 21 or 22? I don't always remember. It's been a while. So, it's my pleasure. I want to help you grow. I want to help you get through the grief. I want to help you heal. And that's always been, it was 2022. Okay, it was 22. Yeah. So, okay, so you guys can do the math there. Angie's been seeing me for 2 years, and we have a great relationship. Okay. So, yeah, Angie's been seeing me since it first happened. I remember it just happened. So, I can walk you through that shadow. I'm what they call a shadow walker. That's what I do. I have an education in mental health. I'm happy to help you in any way I can. I try to make it affordable. The coaching is affordable. If you look at the coaching packages, it's affordable. So if you need coaching, check that out. Okay. Yeah, make sure you look at the packages for me particularly. And you can book with me at Psychic Insights. You can also learn more about me. Like, I have a book about being authentic at divineandrogen.com. I also have a bunch of other stuff, like a podcast and all this other stuff. So if you want to learn about that, you can go to divineandrogen.com, which is my website just about me. Psychic Insights is everyone in all the mediums in the group, including me, okay, that I help manage and help them bring mediumship readings to you in a good way, so that they're reliable and they're accountable, and you can be sure that you get a satisfying reading with them. All right, my friends, I look forward to thanks, Angie. Everybody loves the astrology with me. All right, Nicole. Well, if you want me on your podcast, I'd be happy to be on there. And oh, Alyssa bought the dancing hippo last night. All right. Brighthawk's gonna sign it, so she might have to reach out to you and ask you if you want it signed to somebody in particular and you didn't put that in, I don't know, I didn't look at the notes yet today, but if you didn't put it in the notes, email brighthawkproductions@gmail.com. Just go back to our website and email her, and brighthawkproductions@gmail.com, and you can request for her to sign it to a particular person. She will sign it for you, though. Terry said, I vouch for you. My husband came through you and he didn't believe in a lot of psychics. That was the first thing you told me to. Yeah, I think that's hilarious when people do, when spirits do that. It's hilarious. They're so cute. They're like, yeah, I don't normally believe in psychics, but she wants me to come through. I think it would be good for her. I want to help her. And I think it was silly that I didn't believe. All right, Alyssa, I'll look for your email. Okay. All right. I look forward to it too, Nicole. And everyone, I hope that you have a great weekend. Have a great night and enjoy your life. Try to make the best of it. Try to make the best of your life. Try to do something really good for yourself. And I appreciate all of you. Nana, I appreciate that you, he was a funny guy. See what I mean, Terry? Yes, it's funny. Yeah, so like I appreciate all of you. I appreciate you all for being here today. I love you all. All right. Hey, Chelsea, happy birthday, Scorpio, huh? All right, Chelsea, I look forward to it. So all right, everybody, have a good night and enjoy the rest of your weekend. May you be blessed. Bye-bye.
Are you seeking guidance on your spiritual journey? Need help with a vexing problem? Missing a loved one and looking for answers? Look no further than Psychic Insights, a small trusted psychic service offering mediums, psychics, and spiritual coaching. This service is managed by Hollis Taylor, a gifted psychic medium, astrologer, and a compassionate coach. We are dedicated to helping you navigate your spiritual awakening. At Psychic Insights, we provide medium readings and psychic insight to help you plan for tomorrow and make choices for today. Find the support you need, compassionate grief coaching, and astrological insights to help you spiritually grow and transform. Our professional services include well-managed schedules, recorded sessions, and reliable psychic mediums ready to facilitate your transformational experience. Discover more at psychicinsights.life.